Magnus Carlsen almost lost against this beginner. We all know that Magnus Carlsen is the god of chess. With a crown in his head, with his exceptional talent, strategic mind, and unmatched dedication to the game, he has earned numerous titles, including the title of World Chess Champion. But despite all of this, he almost lost to a beginner. This is the story of Max Duist, a man who almost defeated Magnus with just 1 month of preparation. So what happened? It was the time of 2017. An absolute beginner challenged Magnus Carlsen to play a chess match. But the catch was that he would learn the game in just 30 days. Yes, he knew nothing about the game at all, but he decided to beat Magnus in 30 days. The dream might sound delusional, but Max has been doing this for years. He is responsible for a blog named Month to Master, where he basically learns a skill in just 30 days and completes a particular challenge at the end. This time, the challenge was to defeat Carlsen. Magnus, on the other hand, accepted the challenge because he was really curious about what Max can achieve in just a month. Or maybe he just wants to crush the ego of Max by defeating him in a few moves, showing the world how difficult chess is, and he is the king. So the challenge set up, and the match was about to begin. The absolute rookie vs the world champion. Just before the game, Max started solving the Rubik's Cube. Feels like he is too confident to face Carlsen. Max was surprisingly very confident compared to other players Carlsen has played against. It was evident that something big was about to happen. The game started with Max having white pieces, and he played e4. The first move of the game against Magnus. Generally, e4 is a solid move, but is very common among chess players, even amongst the beginners. e4 is also considered as an attacking move, leading to decisive, intense games. d4, however, leads to closed positions that are more likely to end in draws. Reminds me of the game played by Bobby Fischer against Ruben Fine. The first move of that game was e4 as well. Bobby Fischer won that game, defeating the World Championship. Would history repeat itself? Nah, I don't think so. e4 gives little chance to the opponent to control the direction of the game, and this might have been what Max had planned. Max claimed to be a quick and obsessive learner, showing how he has mastered countless skills in incredibly less time. Making a cool backflip, learning piano, freestyle rap, Rubik's Cube, and now it was time for chess. He wanted to master chess and defeat the world champion as an achievement in just a single month. However, this challenge was hilariously stupid because not only it takes years and years of extreme practice to even surpass 1000 rating, even 1000 is a rookie in front of Magnus. Defeating even Hikaru and Noterbeck Magnus has proved how superior he was in front of everyone. In order to defeat Magnus, Max had to become even better than Hikaru and surpass the rating of 2600. Yet Max was confident about himself. How? What is it that he knows and we don't? That's when Max played knight c3, another solid move against Magnus. Eventually, the game progressed into Ruy Lopez opening. The opening is generally loved by all, from beginners to professionals, and is named after Ruy Lopez de Segura, a Spanish priest from the 16th century who published a book on chess in the year 1561. The game was flowing like it was between two professionals. Magnus defended by moving his knight to e7, not compromising with the structure at all. But the problem with this defense is that if white plays aggressively in the center, it could lead to some problems for black. However, nothing like that happened, as after Max played d4, and Magnus took d4, Max casually captured Carlsen's pawn from his knight. This isn't necessarily a bad move, but allows black to develop his bishop to h7. But that's when Max made his first mistake. In a critical position, he moved his knight to d5. This is a bad move because if Magnus takes Max's knight, his e4 pawn becomes weak. Magnus realized the mistake and grabbed the opportunity to throw out the possibility of Max winning. Magnus exchanged knights, weakening Max's e4 pawn, which was now at d5. He then moved his second knight to e5 and then g4, attacking Max's pawns at a2 and f2. That's when Max made his second mistake, moving his queen to f3, where it literally does nothing except attacking at f7 pawn, which was protected by Carlsen's rook and the king. In chess, especially at higher levels, every move manipulates the fate of the game. That's why every move should somehow gain advantage for you. Either you capture, you trap, you pin, you check, you threaten. There should be a motive and meaning behind every move, but queen to f3 had none. The game was now in the hands of Magnus, and it was starting to feel that this challenge was a simply dumb idea. Chess is a culture, and it needs years of practice to learn from experience, mistakes, games, and losses. 1 month is horribly less. Countless people have tried to learn chess from scratch, but being a grandmaster remains a dream for the majority of them. But Max was playing against Grandmaster of Grandmaster. His plan was to develop an algorithm which can see a position and describe whether it is favorable or not. So he basically wanted to outplay Magnus by making an engine. The plan of Max was to turn into a computer. An engine which can identify whether a position is favorable or not, and then find ways to make it favorable. But the plan was a huge flop. Bigger than the Morbius. Engines aren't a new thing in chess culture. Stockfish is one of the famous engines used by countless chess champions to improve their skills. Yet the idea of Max was a bit uncertain. The young challenger ran algorithms to calculate all the positions for 4 weeks, but couldn't calculate it at all. The one thing he did not anticipate was the amount of time it would take for the algorithm to calculate all the positions. The time was less and Max's plan miserably failed. What would he do now? Because after a disastrous move of queen f3, Magnus played his queen to e4, attacking the h2 pawn and giving a checkmate. Max counters the move with a3, which was surprisingly a bad move because just after that Magnus captured Max's bishop at e3. Max captures back with his queen and Magnus replies by capturing Max's hanging knight at d4 by his bishop. Max's queen at e3 cannot capture Magnus's bishop at d4 because his queen at a4 is protecting it. This was a huge blunder, a blunder from which Max can hardly make a comeback. After a few moves, something unthinkable happened. Max blunders his queen, completely destroying his chances to win it all. Magnus was destined to win from the very first move. Having remembered 10,000 chess games in just his mind alone, he can even defeat engines. Magnus went on to attack even further, completely tarnishing away the young challenger and finished the game by rook a1 checkmate. The beginner was happy with just 8 perfect moves he played in the beginning of the game, while Magnus promised him to play again when his algorithm gets complete. Max lasted 39 moves against Magnus, which is quite good, yet the outcome of the match was simply that we cannot learn chess in just 1 month. It needs years and years of practice, puzzles, lessons, and hard work to even surpass 1,000 rating. Becoming a grandmaster is a different struggle. What Max wanted to achieve was, no doubt, visionary, but might feel straight-up arrogance. Max unfortunately appeared delusional because of how stupid he acted. If you really want to improve in chess in 30 days, play it. You, of course, can't beat Carlsen, but maybe, a big maybe, give him a tough fight. Whenever your opponent plays a move, ask these 3 questions to yourself. Question 1. What does the opponent want? Why did he make a particular move? This way you can predict his next moves and counter it accordingly. Question 2. What is hanging? Usually there are a lot of hanging pieces on the board that we are just blindsided to. We call this chess blindsidedness. All in all, asking this question again and again forces you to find hanging pieces and take the advantage. Question 3. What are the checks? What are the captures? What are the threats and what are the pins? This way you can analyze which move would actually provide you more favorable position. This simple chess knowledge might have helped Max more than just creation an engine for himself. All in all, we got the entertainment, and that's what matters because chess is a war and war is never fair.